Hi guys, welcome to another Divi theme video. This is Jamie from System 22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. We got a great interactive thing for you today. Got a little blurb module down here with a call to action button. Watch what happens when I scroll up the screen. It's going to get to the top. It's going to turn black. It's going to jump over the left hand side. Same with this blue section coming up here. Same with the purple section right there. I've got a link on either of these buttons so you can take them wherever you want to go with them. And that's a really nice little interactive feature to have on your site to showcase whatever sections you want to take your people to do. Really easy to do. So let's get started. I'm sure you notice when we go back up the screen, they're going to jump back in to their respective places. So let's get started. I'm going to enable the Visual Builder. Let's go down. I'll delete the rows that these are in. Well, let's go back up here. I'm going to add a new row. I just got to click on existing section anywhere. I'm going to add a new row, green tab for a row. I'm going to put a single column in my row. And inside, I'm going to put a blurb module. Great, there it is. Let's just save that. I want to drag this row above those little images right there because that's what I'm using to separate our sections. So I'm going to click on the row. I'm going to grab the little cross with my left mouse button, pull it up to where I want it, and release and drop it up the top. Great. Well, let's give it the color we want to give this background. It really doesn't matter. That's entirely up to you. I'm going to go into the row again, background. I'm going to make this one red. I do want it to stretch full width though. So while we're in here, let's make that happen. To make it full width, we can go over to Design, Sizing. There's the width. We pull it all the way up to the right to 100%. I'm going to copy the 100%, Control C, paste it in the max width below, or you can just type it in if you prefer. We got a full width row there. Fantastic. Also, what I want to do with this is I want to take any padding away, top and bottom. So you'll see this butted up against the top and this butted up against the bottom there. So we can close up sizing. We'll go into spacing. Here's padding. Just put a 0 in there. It'll put the PX in for you. Hit the chain. It'll do the opposite side. Brilliant. Well, let's go into our little blurb module now. Dark tab for the module. Obviously, put what you want your title to say there. Option 1, I'm going to say. And whatever content you want to put in down there. I don't have any content at the moment, so I'm going to leave it on the generic. I'm going to roll down to image and icon. I'm going to use an icon for mine today by hitting the little use icon switch. Choose whatever icon, or you can do a search. Well, there's a little button here. You can pop out into a breakout box. There's a lot of scrolling because they've teamed up with Font Awesome. So it's a good idea to have something in mind before you just chuck an icon in. Okay, well, let's just throw that one in for argument's sake. Great. Down below in the link, I'm going to link this to wherever it is you want to take people for your option 1. I'm also going to add a button in a minute to take them to the same place. I'm going to put it in the module link URL rather than just the title because I want them anywhere that they click on this module, I want them to go to this link. And of course, always best practice. If you're linking to your own site, keep it in the same window. Linking offsite, open it in a new tab. That way your site will stay open. Great. Okay, let's go to our icon now. I'm going to hit the little paintbrush associated with it. I'm going to change its color to white. I'm going to use 40 pixels for mine. 40 is going to be our little magic number today. That's what I'm going to use for padding and everything else as well. That's great. I'm going to turn all of my text white by just rolling down to the end of our icon section here to the text. And this will grab the title and the content text there. I'm going to pop it in the middle and I'm going to change it from dark to light. And you can style these individually down here if you want to. Fantastic. Okay, well, let's just add a little call to action button below this. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add a little button module underneath our blurb module here. Just click on the blurb module, little dark button to add a new module. We'll choose a button. There it is over there. Let's pop it in the middle. And we'll make it white in color also by clicking on the button. Hit the switch custom styles for button text color. That's all I'm going to change. Okay, I think I'm going to add just a little bit of padding to the bottom of our row here. So we've got something under the button. So let's save the button. Now we're happy with it. Oh, so you want to put a link in for your button. If anybody doesn't know, links under content right there. Just put your link in there. And I'd use the same link as we're using on our Blurb module up there. Great. Let's go back into the row now. Green tab for our row. Design and spacing. Let's uncheck that chain. I'm going to put 40 pixels on the bottom. I think, like I said, I'm going to use 40 pixels all around for this today. Great. Now we'll go back to our Blurb module and we're going to make it stick to the top and then shoot over to that left-hand side. To do that, let's go back into the Blurb module. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it some padding top and bottom of 40 pixels. So to do that, we can go to design and spacing. If I just put a 40 in there and hit the chain, fantastic. A little too much space between the button and the Blurb module for me there. So what we can do in a minute, we can take the gutters away from our row. Gutters are the space beside and below elements. I'll tighten that up. I'd also like to have my title a little closer to my icon there so that when we have it fixed over here, it's not going to be too big. So let's do that first. Then we have to write a tiny bit of CSS code just to move that closer to our icon there, but it's one line and it's very easy. I'll pop it down below the video for anybody that's not sure about it. So I'm going to go over to my advanced custom CSS. I'm going to go to module elements. If we roll down, you're going to find blurb title. I'm going to move it up by about 20 pixels by using margin, dash, top, colon. Well, I'm going to use negative 20 pixels. That's popped it up a lot closer to that icon there. Great. Well, let's make it sticky. Still in the advanced tab. If we get out of our custom CSS here, we can go down to scroll effects. If you click on it, sticky position. I'm going to have mine stick to the top. So when we roll up now, that blurb module is going to stick up the top there. It's got no background on it. So it's just sort of rolling down our little section here with that white writing. What I'm going to do is when it's sticky, I'm going to hide that writing because we don't want to see that. We just want to see the icon with the option 1. I'm going to turn it into a little circle and put it over on the left-hand side and make it black. So let's do that. And we can do that, a lot of it right here in our blurb settings. Now that we've actually made it sticky, we can change elements while it's sticky. And I'll show you. If we go back to our content, go down to our background, we roll over the background now. Because it's sticky, we've got a little pin icon. You will not see that if you've not made it sticky. We can click on that and say when it's sticky, click on the sticky tab, the little pin right there. I want it to be black in color. Great. But I also want it to be, we said 40 top, 40 bottom, and that's 40, 3 fours are 12. So 120, I want it 120 tall and 120 wide. We can do the same thing if we close up our background now, go to our design and sizing. Again, make sure you roll over the writing, get the pin up, make sure you've got the pin highlighted. And we're going to say 120px. Make sure you put the px on because with width, it'll try to put a percentage in. Now we've got the width, we want to make the height the same. So I'm going to copy that, Control C. I'm going to roll down to height. And again, make sure we get the little pin up. Make sure we're on the pin state. And I'll paste that in there. Great, we've now got a little square. Looks like I want to adjust that padding a bit. Now there's two options. I'm going to get rid of the writing, the content there, and still have the title in and just scoot it up slightly. If you wanted to get rid of the title and the content when it's pinned, you can do, and just leave the icon there. We won't have to adjust the padding. Now to demonstrate what I'm talking about, to get rid of this writing, I can click on the little paintbrush associated with it, little blue paintbrush there. Take us straight to the styling for it, body text. Again, body text color. I'm going to roll over it hit the little pin, make sure the pinned is sticky is highlighted. I'm going to change it from white to transparent, and it's disappeared, as you can see there. But I don't want that really showing up at all. So I'm going to hide any overflow. And what overflow is anything that's sticking out of our 120 height there. We can do that easily over in advanced. We're still in our blurb. We're going to go to visibility. Here's horizontal and vertical overflow. I'm going to change both of those to hidden. Fantastic. Okay, now I want to turn it into a circle, and we'll have to adjust those contents so they're more central. So if we go back to our design now, let's just pull this over here. Go back to our border down here. It'll be checked by default so you can do all four corners at once. In the rounded corners, I'm going to type 50 and put in the percentage sign. That's given us a perfect circle there. And you can only make a perfect circle if you've got a perfect square. That's why we made the height and the width the same. So it looks like I need to scoot this up a bit just to make it a little bit more central. So we can do that by adjusting the padding when it's pinned very easily in the spacing just above the border. So again, go over the padding, hit the little pin, make sure we're on the pinned state. I'm going to uncheck that chain. I'm going to put a 20. Oh, I'm going to put a 20 in the top, see what that does. That's about right for me. Obviously adjust yours to taste, and you can change the size of that icon if you want to by going into the icon and changing the size when it's pinned. But I think that's going to work for me. So let's save our changes here. See what's going to happen on the front end. Save draft or publish if you're ready. Let's exit the Visual Builder. There's our little blurb and our call to action down there. If we roll up to the top, it's going to stick to the top, move to the side, and it's going to stay there. Perfect. When we come back, it's going to jump back to his position. Now, I've just got one more little adjustment to make. I'm going to take the gutters away from our row here. That'll tighten up that space there. And then I'll show you how easy it is to duplicate this and stack them. So let's go back to our Visual Builder again. I'm going to make that row adjustment by clicking on it, going into the row itself, design, sizing. Here we've got custom gutter width. I'm going to flip that to on and drag it all the way to the left to 1. As you can see, that's tightened that up. It's taken the gutters away from our little row right there. Perfect. Well, now we're happy with this, we can duplicate it. Now you can either just duplicate the row or save it to your library and use it wherever you want. For expediency, I'm going to duplicate this whole section, which is this row and this row with the two images in it. Just gives them a little separation. So to do that, blue tab for the section, two little square icons. We'll duplicate it once. We'll duplicate it twice. I'm going to go down to my second one there. Going to go into the row, change that background color so you can tell the difference. Then we'll go into the blurb. Option 2. Obviously, you'd want to change your link. I'm going to change the icon also. Great. And we'll roll down to that next one. I'll do exactly the same thing. I'll change the color of the row, just so you can tell them apart. Background, purple. Now, I don't know if you've noticed, since we slide down, our option 2 has gone over there, and it's stacking underneath automatically. Perfect. So we need to go into this last blurb module now. That's going to be option 3. We'll change out the image and icon here. And of course, you want to change your link and the link in the button, obviously. And we should be good to go. When I roll that one up, it's going to pop over there. Roll back down. They're going to jump back into their place. So let's make sure this is all going to work on the front end, and we should be good to go. So let's save draft and exit the Visual Builder. Here we have it. There's our first little blurb right there. I've got mine fairly high up the page, but obviously you can put them wherever you want on your page. It's going to stick. It's going to pop over to that left-hand side. Great. Here's our blue one. Going to do exactly the same thing. Here's our purple one. Again, doing exactly the same thing. When we roll back up the other way, they're going to jump back into their respective positions. Really nice. That's going to get people's attention. Things like that happen when they're scrolling around the site. People are going to notice it very quickly. And if you've got some important information, you want them to be able to click on it at any time, you can do that with this. So there it is, guys. Here's how to create some sticky info blurbs for your website. Really nice little interactive feature to have. So I hope you've enjoyed this today and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, ring the bell, comment, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And don't forget, if you have any questions, pop them down below the video. I'll do my best to answer them for you or make a little demo video just like this one. So once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and WebDesignDetectives.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.